We've talked about 3 chords so far, which has been the 1 chord, the 5 chord, and the 6 chord. So I'm going to ask for 10,000 nothings. What does the 1 chord sound like? Give me an adjective. You can just call it out, just some word. Say again. Home base, absolutely. Picket fence, 2.5 kids, the whole scene, just peace. 1, it just sounds resolved. It sounds like you don't need to go anywhere else. Ta-da! The end, 1. Awesome. And then we talked about 5 and how it's very, very different from 1 in that it is what? Tension. Yes, there's so much tension in the 5. 5, 1. And we talked about the distinction between 1 and 5. So one thing you can listen for is home base versus tension. But the other thing you can do is hum do. Everyone hum do for a second. Good, that's do. Everyone sing the scale with me real quick. Ready? And we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go backwards. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, let's stop on 7. Start at 1, stop on 7. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just have to go to 8, right? You got to go to 8. So that's that tension. So what you can do is you can hum do to yourself. And as the chords are going by, if the sounds good, okay, there's another chord. Here's another chord. Oh, 1 still sounds good. Doesn't sound good, right? So the 5 chord is the only chord that doesn't have do in it. Instead, it has T. That's why we get that tension. So if you're humming do, and I hum do all the time, every time I'm trying to hear the chords, I'm always just continuous cycle of do. And as soon as I hear that, da, yikes, that's got to be 5. You with me? Yes? Awesome. So you'll put it in a new key. Everybody hum do? Nice. Keep humming it. And raise your hand when we get to a 5 chord. Keep humming it. Keep humming. Right? So that's how you know. You'll find the 5 every time. If you're humming do to yourself, 5 is easy to find every time. Okay, then we talked about 6. Now 6 is different from both 1 and 5 because it is what? Say again? Minor, which means it sounds what for 10,000 nothings? What does it sound? What does minor sound like? Sad. Sounds sad. It sounds somber, sad. There's a weight to it. There's a darkness to it. So here's what 1 sounds like. And here's what 5 sounds like. And here's 6. Okay, so as soon as you hear that kind of sad sound, you know that it's 6. Now, if you hummed do, because the whole thing is see if you can hum do the whole time, and that's going to help you out. Do actually works with this chord, which is great because then that means we can still believe that 5 is 5 when it doesn't work with 1, because as soon as it sounds bad with 1, you know it's 5. Okay, so I'm going to throw a couple of these in here, and in fact, we're going to review. So look at your sheet. Write whether the chords are 1, 5, or 6. Okay, now there's 2 spaces there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play, for the first couple, I'm going to play the 1 chord and then another chord. Now that second chord could just be the 1 chord again, or it could be a 5 chord, or it could be a 6 chord. So for question number 1, that first space you know already is going to be 1, because I'm going to make sure it's a 1. And for number 2, same thing, it's going to be a 1. And for number 3, same thing, that first space is going to be 1. It's the second space that you're worried about. Okay, here we go. So here's our key. Here's number 1. I'll do it again. Everybody hummed out? Good. Here's our 2 chords. Okay, now don't give me your answer. We're going to go to number 2. Everybody hummed out? Good. Here's our chords. I'll do it again. Excellent. I'm getting that look like we got it. Come on. All right, so let's move on. Sing do for me. Nice. Okay, here we go. Here's your 2 chords for number 3. I'll do that again. All right. Okay, good. So, for number 1, what were the 2 chords? Let's shout them out. 1, 5 is correct. How about for number 2? Good, 1, 1. Now, did they sound exactly the same? No. But highs and lows don't really matter. So if you're thinking about like, oh, well, that one's higher, that one's lower, don't go there with your brain, because you can do, some people say like, that sounds lower somehow, a minor chord. But you could do a minor chord high and a major chord low. So highs and lows are just kind of there to throw you off. So don't worry about highs and lows. So you're correct. It is 1 and then another 1. And number 3, what are the 2 chords? 1, 6. Awesome. Okay, 4, 5, and 6. How are we doing on time? Good. Okay, 4, 5, and 6. Numbers 4, 5, and 6. You're not going to be told the first chord. It could be any random chord. It could be a 1 or a 6 or a 5. And the second chord is going to be a 1 or a 6 or a 5. And you don't know. It could be 1, 1. It could be 5, 6. But it's only going to be those 3. 1, 5, and 6. Yes? Here's our key. I'm going to challenge myself, put an A flat. What's do? Excellent. Hold on to that do. Here we go. I'll do that again. All right. Go ahead and shout out what you think it is. Ready, go. 1, 6 is correct. Home base. 6, minor. Good. Number 5. Oops, sorry. Hummed out? Good. Here we go. I'll do it again. Here's our 2 chords. Okay, what do we think it is? And go. Good. 5 T do 7 8. Excellent. And last but not least, number 6. Let's put it here. Everybody hummed out? Here we go. Hum do again. Good. Here's our chords. Good. What do we think that is? And go. Good. 6/5. 6/5. So it had that minor flavor to it. Sad. And then do. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, we're going to skip 7, 8, 9, and 10. Raise your hand if you have gotten anything at all correct so far. Then you're doing awesome. You're doing really, really good. Okay, so we're going to add the last chord, okay? Now, we've done 3 chords. I'm about to add this 4th chord. With this 4th chord, I am not exaggerating when I say above 90%, let's say 90, I'd like to say 95% of common church worship music can be done with these 4 chords. If you knew and could hear these 4 chords. So I'm literally closing the set right now for you, so that as soon as you collect this last chord along with these 3, you can literally listen to 95% of worship music and say, I could write you what those chords are right now just by listening. That's exciting. You guys are doing awesome. So here we go. Last chord. We've done the 1, we've done the 5, we've done the 6. The last chord is the 4. The 4 chord. Now the 4 chord is the chameleon. Okay, it's the hardest to recognize. It sounds a little like 5 because it's a major chord that's not 1. You know what I mean? 5 is a major chord that's not 1, and so is 4. So it sounds a little bit like 5. It sounds a little bit like 1 because it's a major chord with do in it. So it's a major chord that has do within the chord. So in other words, if we're in this key, sing do. That's the 4 chord. It has do in it. So it can almost sound like 1 sometimes, because here's 1, there's 4, and it has that do in it, and it's major. So it can sound like 5, it can sound like 1. Also, it takes on the characteristics of the 6, even if it's played right after it. So for instance, here's 6, sad. You see that? Somehow it carries the sadness of the 6. It's a major chord. It's major, it's happy, but played after the 6, it kind of preserves the sadness. So it's chameleon. It's so hard. What I like to think of is like the amen. So the best I can tell you is, if none of that makes any sense to you, which it probably doesn't because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, you might have to just go, it's not a 5, it's not a 1, it's not a 6, must be a 4, okay? For now, that might be the best you can do, and that's fine, but you can start to recognize this 4 chord. So I'm just going to play some chords and tell you what they are just to get it in your ear, okay? This is 1. 5, T, 6. There's 4. 1, 6, 5, 4, 1, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay? Here we go. Let's go to number 11. Write the 3 chords in the order they are played. I'm going to play 3 chords. It's going to either be a 1, 5, and 6, or a 5, 4, and 6, or a 6, 1, and 5, or you don't know what it's going to be. But you're going to write those 3 in order for number 11. May the force be with you. Here we go. Number 11. do that again. I'll do it one more time. Here we go, number 11. Okay, so what do we think that is? Ready? And go. One. Okay, we got a myriad of answers. Here we go. Let's call them out as we go. Ready? Listen to the first one. One. Good. Now, don't answer, but listen. A hum-do for me again? How many forgot to do the do trick? You got to keep singing that do. If you ever get 5 wrong, I can say, you weren't humming do. You got to hum do. 5. And then 6. Got that clear minor sound. Now let me ask you this. Tell me if your brain fills in the space. You ready? I'm going to leave it blank, and you tell me if your brain fills it in. Anybody's brain did that? 1, 5, 6, 4. Speaking words of wisdom. I'm just kidding. Okay, so that's that last one. 4. That's the one we just added. Okay, we're going to do new key, number 12. Okay, number 12. Do it again. Number 12. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to ask you to actively hum do, just so that I know that you're doing it. One more time. Ready? Hum do for me? Good, now hold on to do as we go through these. Did everybody hum do through that whole thing? So what chord is definitely not one of these? Do it again, hum do. Where's do? Good. Sing it out nice and loud for me. Good. What chord is not one of these 3? 5. Can't be 5 because do sounded beautiful with all of them. Last time. Okay, what do we think it is? Give it to me. 6. 1. 4. Raise your hand if you had 6, 1, 4. Nice job. That is correct. 6, 1, 4 was correct. All right. I know we're sweating here. It's like, oh boy, let's move on. But this is it. You've made the last leap here. There's not like next week we're going to add this chord, and next week we're going to add this chord. You've done it. You've collected all the land you've needed to collect, and now we're just reaping. So hang in there with this one, because by the end of today, you're done. By the end of today, you are an ear-trained person who has ear training and can ear train others. Okay. So number 13, here we go. If you get this one correct, you get $100 from the person to your left. Here we go. Number 13. I'll do it again. Hummed up? Good. Anybody need it one more time? Just give me like a auction sign or something. One more time. Humdo? Good. All right, what do we think? What was the first chord? 6. Then? Yep, we never got that home bass chord. We only got 6, 5, 4. All right, you guys are doing awesome. We're going to do, I'm going to skip to, let's say, number 15. Let's go to number 15. Number 15. And I'm actually going to put a 4th chord in. Okay, so it's going to be 4 chords. Do that again. Last time. Do for me one more time. Good, last time. Raise your hand if you are over 75% confident right now. Okay, let's go ahead and say what we think it is. Ready, and go. Good. Okay, now let's see how we arrived here. Ready? Here's our key. And here's our first chord. So that first chord sounded like home bass. There's that minor, sad. Then 4. Now if we're humming do, we know it doesn't sound like home bass. We also know it's not minor, but it has do in it, so it's got to be 4. And T5, it's got to be 5. 1. Okay, last one. Okay, this is it. Consider this the final, okay? Pretend like if you've paid no attention to anything, number 16, if you can get this correct, you can say, done, I got this, okay? So give everything you have to number 16. Here it comes. Humdo? Good. Here we go. Do it again. Oops, sorry. I'll give you the whole key again. Here we go. Humdo for me. Good. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to ask you to double check your answers just to make sure. Humdo? Good, ready? Good. What's the first chord? What's the second chord? What's the third chord? What's the last chord? Good. Now, even if you're still not getting any success with this at all, please do not worry. It'll slowly start to make sense to you. You will hear this as minor, chameleon chord, major with a 1 in it, home bass, T, and it'll just start to all kind of fall into place. Okay, I'm just going to start playing random chords, and you tell me what it is. Humdo for me. What is that? 5. Do, 5. 6. Not bad at all. Okay, so raise your hand if you got anything correct in that last section. Anything at all. Good. Okay, so awesome, guys. So this is really it. So now what happens is you just start to put an active ear on as you listen to music. So what's a good song that came out recently, but that not too recently because I wouldn't know it? What's a good song? Open the eyes of my heart. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Humdo. Good. Keep humming, Do. Do. What chord is this? Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. 4. I want to see you. 1. To see you high, high and lifted up, shining in the light. Was it? 4, shining in the light of your glory. Tension, T, Do. See, it all starts to make, here's what adds the distraction point where you go, okay, I got this in theory. Okay, I took the test. I'm doing pretty good with those. You just played me a song and I was absolutely lost. I didn't know any of those chords. Here's the disconnect there. Is that suddenly when you start to put these together, they're actually creating beautiful music that can be distracting. Sometimes I'm just distracted by the way, that 6 so beautifully went to that 4 that I forget to hear 6 and 4, and it just sounds, you know what I mean? You know, you could just start to hear other things. You start to hear the melodies. You start to hear the rhythms. You start to remember that song and the lyrics, and just all of a sudden there's this extra information that kind of clouds the issue a little bit. So don't get discouraged by that. You'll be able to, soon you'll just be able to cut through all that stuff, and you'll just be able to pinpoint those chord progressions. Last one, here I am to worship. All right, now I'm going to ask you to do this one in your head so that everybody's get the opportunity. Ready? Here I am. Don't say it out loud. Worship. Here. Humdo. Good. Now some of you are singing my melody. Here I am to worship. But here's Do. Humdo. Good. Here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. it comes again, the whole progression. Same thing. All together, all together, wonderful to me. So what's this one? Here I am to be. If you don't get 5, there's only one reason for it. You haven't been singing do, all right? You gotta sing that do. Here I am to say, 6, that you're my God. You see how the 4 sometimes just acts as the leftover. It's not 1, it's not 5, it's not 6, it's 4. Awesome, okay. Please be encouraged. Raise your hand if you feel horrible right now. Good. You should feel great. So even if you're getting some of this, even if you're getting half of it or quarter of it, it means that's the journey. That's what it means to just go. That's why we've introduced all the chords, and yet the unit's not over. Why? Because we need more time. You just need more time to kind of hear it. But here's what I would encourage you to do. As you leave and you're listening to the radio, don't let it be passive listening. Let it be active listening. I'm convinced part of what you're practicing is just turning that switch on and leaving it on. That's part of it. It's not even the skill set as much as it is learning how to keep that part of your brain that's listening for the chords and active listening, we call it, as opposed to passive.